Welcome to the next episode of the Belvr podcast. I'm here with my guy Jalen today. I want you to just kind of introduce yourself, tell us about your journey from when you're young to now, and kind of what your story has been.
Uh, okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
First
man.
of all,
Of course, my guy.
my guy. My name is Jalen Simmons. I am the founder of J Mixtape Production. Grew up in Atlanta, moved to Roswell, Florida when I was about 8 or 9. Got into basketball actually pretty late. It's probably like 11, 12 maybe is when I really started actually getting into it. Went to Centennial my freshman year, transferred to St. Francis High School, played ball there, played in college, went to Miriam Military Institute, middle of nowhere, Alabama. After that, went to South Georgia State for a year and then finished out at Berea College. After that, did a few G League tryouts, did an overseas tour out in Mexico. After that, eventually messed my back up, and during that time, I kind of just fell into the passion of filming and just helping other players get exposure, and just continuously grew from there. Just branched out, started doing like clothing brands with Triple OG brand, a couple of other companies, and just been on this journey of digital marketing and film production ever since. So.
When did you start to fall in love with filmmaking and doing all that good stuff?
I want to say I was still like a sophomore in college. Then I was doing it as a hobby. So like my mom would film all the games. My brother, who eventually became #1 player in Georgia, Kobe Simmons. And I would just come home during the holidays, like Christmas breaks or summertime. And I would just be on my iMovies, just putting clips together. And then eventually I just put a few out on YouTube. And I got like 3,000 views, and at the time it felt like 1 million. YouTube was like fairly new, 2013, and people just kept asking for videos and, hey, can you put this together? And at the time, that's when we were still in the CD phase a little bit, so I was burning DVDs at the time and putting stuff together. And during that time, I think it was only Hoop Mixtape and Gym Rat Insiders, so like Slam didn't even drop yet, and a lot of the other companies that are out now. Overtime wasn't out yet. So I just kind of fell into it that way. I probably make like 2 videos a year while I was in college. And then after I graduated in 2018 is kind of when I ramped up, just traveling to games, traveling to your games, traveling to other people, and just kept it rolling. Started doing footage with the Celtics, Atlanta Celtics, Team Dickerson now, with Coach Dickerson, my pops, and they had a lot of the top players. So just filming their games, DeJuan and Walker Kessler and just so many other players during that time that were just very elite, and I just captured their footage and just kept it rolling from there.
What would you tell someone who's younger in high school or in middle school that's starting to film and do that type of stuff? What would you tell them to be successful in it?
Just go, man. I feel like a lot of people that start out like filming, editing, stuff like that, they're always worried about other people's opinions. They're always worried, like, am I getting the right footage out, the right clips? Or they'll take their time and take forever to drop something when they have something already set. I would say just keep posting, keep figuring out new things, and just like figure out your style. I mean, you don't want to sit there and kind of repeat what someone else is doing. Try and find new ways to like be different, and just absorb knowledge. Be okay with absorbing knowledge. I know there's some videographers and photographers that are like amazing at what they do, and a lot of them won't even take advice, to be honest. Like, so just be open to taking advice, being able to just have new knowledge, ask questions, and just keep going, honestly. Yeah.
And if you could go back and tell your younger self, what is something you would tell you?
Tell me? Oh, man. What would I tell my younger self? That's a good question. I really don't know. I don't know. Probably. I mean, where I'm at now, I would say probably be more intentional of like how you maneuver or how you kind of go about your film and stuff. Back then I was like super green light, so I was just like half the time I'm just like out just catching whatever. So like being more strategic and just not just going so you don't burn out probably. Because I did have moments where I'm just going, and yeah, burnout does hit.
I can imagine
So I would
that.
probably just say just be a lot more intentional and efficient with your craft.
And then how have you, what you just told your youngster, how have you implemented that in your daily life now and daily life of filming and things like that?
Oh yeah, just looking at every opportunity and just seeing the pros and the cons. So just being able to see opportunities that come your way. Back then, I would just say yes to every opportunity. Some good, some bad, some similar to other ones that I already had. But just being able to just maybe have a list or being able to sit there and just really soak it in and be like, okay, what would this do for my portfolio? What would this do headed this way? What's the connections and networks that it would lead to here? So just being able to see the pros and cons of each opportunity, I would say.
What is a moment in your life that you're most proud of?
A moment that I'm most proud of? To be honest, right now, just to be able to keep going. Yeah, just being able to continue the journey. Even when things feel plateau, even when things are down or up, just continuously going and continuously just meeting new people, great clients, and just continue to persevere, honestly. So I think I'm proud of where I'm at. Of course, there's other like milestones and accomplishments, but just being able to just keep going, I would say.
And then what is a time in your life where things weren't going the right way or a bad time in your life? What was that? And then how did you learn from that and keep moving?
Ooh, bad times. Plenty. Probably COVID. Yeah, COVID. So at the time during COVID, I was literally in the transition of moving out from my parents to my own place. And at the time, COVID hits, pretty much work was pretty much done. I mean, I had a few people send me their huddle, stuff like that, but we didn't have any events to go out to. Mm-hmm. And during the time, I honestly was making close to nothing. Like I was having months where $500 to $1,000 where like, yeah, luckily my parents was there to support me, but just during that time, just, not really having any income coming in and just trying to figure out that next move. Yeah, and then I know during that time, I remember Sean was one of the first ones on the radar. He was like one of the first ones to like take that chance to start back up the events. So being able to have his events go, and then a lot more people started opening up their events and kind of gradually, slowly getting back to normal life after the lockdown and so much stuff going on. But yeah, that was definitely a tough time. Yeah, so I couldn't even be out filming. I couldn't be out doing anything because we didn't even know what this was at the time.
Facts.
That was definitely a hard time.
Facts. And I know earlier you said your brother's Kobe Simmons. He was number one in the country or state.
Number one in Georgia. Number 5.
Yeah.
In the nation.
What was it like growing up with him and being around him during those time periods of him being one of the best players in the country?
It was amazing. Like I seen the reps. Like I know Damon Stevens, head coach of Team Dickerson. He came into our lives when I was about 15 years old, and we really didn't know anything about training, anything about drills. We were just outside hooping at Newtown, hooping at the park. So when he came in, he implemented a lot of like structure, a lot of discipline for us to just really be in there doing drills we've never even heard of or seen. So me at 15, him at 11 starting, having those 4 extra years of just excelling, doing drills and things that kids weren't even doing. Yeah, I just saw his evolution just grow so fast. And I was in college at the time. So just hearing all the good news coming back, he's at camps and top Adidas Nations events. So I was definitely proud of him, and just, yeah, the skill level was just already so high. It was pretty much no catching up. Plus the talent was there. So just seeing him, seeing his work ethic, just seeing him grind it out, go against top competition, and I remember it was times where I asked him, I was like, "Oh, how do you feel about going up against this player, going against Lonzo, going against Dennis Smith and Tate, all these other players?" And he's just like, "Yeah, it's just basketball." It's just like, yeah. It becomes like riding a bike, so many reps. So, yeah, and he's just continuing his journey as well. And yeah, definitely proud of him and just seeing his growth.
Facts.
On and off the court.
Facts. So. And then what does the word believer mean to you?
Believer? Believer is just someone who just keeps going, man. Someone who's just grounded in who they are, grounded in what they want in life, just seeing a goal, seeing a vision, and not letting any distractions, any negativity bring them down from that, and just continue to just stay strong through ups and downs, and just knowing that that dream or that accomplishment will eventually be shown or even greater.
Facts.
So, yeah.
And then so I know you've filmed a lot of games, been to a lot of places.
Yeah.
What are your top 5 gyms that you've ever been in?
Top 5 events?
Yeah.
Ooh, Peach Jam, definitely number 1. During that time, it was crazy. Yeah, out in Augusta, Georgia, Brandon Boston, Sharif Cooper. I know Bronny was there at the time. They pretty much shut that gym down 30 minutes before the game started. Who else was out there? There was so many top recruits out there, man. Can't think off the top of my head. I remember, what's his name? I can't think. Lefty from UCLA, light skin. I forgot his name. Dang.
He's kind of tall.
Yeah, chop this.
Dixon?
Guard,
Eric Dixon?
No, guard.
Oh.
I can't think off the top of my head, but elite. He was playing like 17U. I think he was 15 at the time.
Amari Bailey?
Yes, Amari Bailey. Amari Bailey was going crazy. I think he had like 30 on one of the 17U teams. He was 15 at the time. So that was definitely up there. Probably Hoops Given. I did like Hoops Given. They had RJ Barrett there during that time. Who else? There's so many. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You should, yeah. Didn't come prepared. I did like Miami Pro-Am. Derrick Jones Jr. He was going crazy. Duncan Robinson. He was definitely elite. There's a couple other guards. Pargo. The Pargo guards were there. So that was tough. 2 more. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Who else is? Who was at that NBA Combine? I can't think off the top of my head who was there. But yeah, NBA Combine. This was 2016, 2017. It was like 20 NBA scouts lined up, and that was like insane just to see that out in Miami. What else? Last one. I'm gonna go On the Radar, show some love to Sean. On the Radar, they had the Thompson twins over there at one of the events. Scoot Henderson there. So yeah, he's thrown some great events, and so many players. I can't even name half the players off the top of my head, but if y'all check the YouTube channel, you'll see all of them.
And then, so speaking of the YouTube channel, what inspired you to make the YouTube channel? Like, instead of just filming and just posting that, would make the YouTube channel, make your J Mixtapes. What is J Mixtapes for people that don't know that?
So yeah, J Mixtape Productions, my sports channel. where I'll go out and show exposure to every player that's doing well. I feel like a lot of the slam, a lot of the hoop mixtapes, a lot of those over time, sometimes they get caught up in who's popular at the time. And I've seen it firsthand to where they'll put someone on blast with 4 or 6 points, but 2 or 3 amazing, outstanding posters or dunks. And it's like, those plays are great, but this guy just had 30. Like, so like, yeah, no shade to them, but like, I know for me, I like to show the person who's really balling, the underdogs. I also have my own podcast in the making that I'll definitely have you on, just showing paths of different people in sports, out of sports. I just started another podcast on that channel called A Buck 50 with one of my friends from middle school, and we're just going in like with sports, like no sugarcoat, nothing. We just go in.
Facts.
So yeah, just real athletes, real sports, and just anyone who's doing well, anyone who needs exposure, you can contact me, and yeah, we'll make it happen. There's a lot of scouts, a lot of coaches on my platform for that channel, so definitely love helping other people just get out there and just get their name known, no matter who they are, whether they have 100 followers or 2 followers. Yeah, if you're balling, yeah, you should be seen.
Thanks. And then, what would you tell someone that's younger or older that is starting a podcast or starting a brand or starting something and they're just in the beginning stages of it and they don't see things necessarily going great? What would you tell that person to keep going?
Just try new things. Maybe go a week posting the whole week. Maybe go 1 week just, mixing it up, different content. Maybe do some behind the scenes. Maybe find a new network or group of people. Go out, find a trainer to help out and get networked through their players, whatever it may be. Just continuously try new things. I know some people, they'll try things for a couple months, maybe a year, maybe 2-3 years. Just see if it's actually working or not. If not, just transition. It's okay to start from ground one again if things aren't growing or things aren't building. Just be able to find new ways to pivot. So, I mean, keep the same goals, keep the same plan, but just find new avenues and new ways to get there. So,
Facts.
yeah.
No, that's great. That's great advice. And then each podcast, the person before leaves a question. The last question was, what do you do with your free time? Free time, and it might not be exactly that, but what do you do with your free time and business and things like that when you're trying to figure out things?
Well, if people who know me and been in touch with me lately, the last 2 months I've been getting very addicted to pickleball.
Oh, we love to hear. Are you good though? Is the question.
I'm getting nice. All right,
me and Eliza we're gonna have to see what you're talking about.
Y'all gonna have to pull up. But yeah, I've been getting very addicted to pickleball. I like watching movies. I'm a big movie person. I try and get into some TV shows that are recommended. I'll read a little bit, get in the Word, so get in the Bible a little bit. Work out, hang with friends. Yeah, I don't do much, man. I'm pretty chill, pretty laid back. Yeah, it's pretty much about it. Yeah, might go hoop every once in a while. I don't hoop as much anymore, but I still get a bucket. So.
And then what is the question you would like to leave the next person?
The question I would like to ask the next person. Let's see. What inspired you to start what you started?
Okay, and then I'm gonna have you answer that question also.
Oh gosh. For me, I would say.
Stop licking his knee.
What inspired me? Definitely my fam. My fam definitely inspired me. I felt like everything lined up to help me to get on the path that I am because of them. So had my mom filming every game, yelling in the camera. I think that's definitely where I get the film from. Had my dad, where he already had all the connects to all the AU coaches, all the college coaches, and just being able to be in the gym consistently with them. And then, of course, my brother, who was a top player, to where just doing his videos and showing people his highlights and his content, just being able to have that content, I think it all just formed to just help me just go.
That's great. And then that's all the questions I had and everything I had to say. Now I want to open up to any conversation, any questions you have, or anything you would like to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably have, like, of course we're gonna be on my podcast, but
Yeah,
I'm still asking.
yeah, don't ask.
I'm gonna still ask you the same question.
Okay.
So how? Because I've known you for a while, and you've had moments where like you're just elite guard up here consistently, but it just came down to the injuries to me. I felt like so like mentally, how were you able to stay persevering after injury to be able to get back to the level of play that you had?
I think the biggest thing was, letting yourself not be okay. I think that's the biggest thing, was like not trying to fight that everything's what it's supposed to be, but everything that happens for a reason. Yeah. Kind of understanding that, and then also just talking to people, like going to therapy, talking to people, doing everything I possibly could rehab wise to know, like, to be able to trust my ankle again, trust my back again, things like that, and just having a great support system to help me get through it. I think that's the biggest things that helped me stay one to hoop and stay one to get better, and just the belief that I had in myself that, I'm not whatever I should be, not because of me and not because of what I've done or what I do hoop-wise or my mindset. It's just because of unfortunate situations of being hurt, which is, not fun, but I had to realize, everything happens for a reason, and if I can either give up and not try to get better and not try to better my ankle and not try to get back playing, or I can do everything I can to get back playing and try to be the best player I can be.
Yeah. Did you have were you like rushing any of the injuries, or were you just like, okay, now I feel like I'm 100? Like, were you like rushing to get back, or how was your patience with that?
I think the first couple, you try to get back as quickly as possible. And then I think once I started to realize, injuries is a real thing, and it can really hinder you from being whatever you're supposed to be or playing a certain way, I kind of started to realize, I need to do everything I can to be 100%, be as close to 100% as I can be. Gotcha. And thankfully I had good trainers and athletic trainers and things like that for me to ask questions and be like, and if something didn't feel comfortable, it's, coaches tell you fight through pain and fight through this, fight through that, blah, blah, blah. But if it didn't feel comfortable and I didn't feel like my body was ready, or I wasn't confident in my ability of whatever pushing through my foot or anything like that, I was not going to do it. I think that's a big thing that I think athletes need to realize, that there's always a couple months from now. Don't ruin yourself now for what you could be in the future. For
sure. And then one more question. I'm gonna ask you a whole bunch of other questions later. But,
that's good.
So what made you start Belvr? Like, what was the spark, and how did you come up with the logo? Like, what was that initial, like, oh yeah, I'm about to start this? I was still trying to figure out my life. It took like a year. I was working at Icebox Cryotherapy. I was trying to see if I could play overseas, and unfortunately my back never got to a place to where I feel like I could be successful, as successful I should be. So one day I was sitting there and I was like, why don't I come up with something that helps people? And then kind of was going around on ChatGPT trying to ask different questions, like spark of like, what is a good name? And I was like, I've always believed in myself, and I always think you have to believe in yourself no matter what. I was like, so Belvr would be a good name, but I didn't want to just use the regular spelling for it. So I kind of switched that up, and it's just it was the spark of, finding a safe space for people to tell their stories, because, I've held things in about my injuries and stuff in the past, and I feel like if someone reached out to me and said, hey, can you tell your story? I would have been like, yeah, I would tell my story, because I feel like it could help someone else. Yeah. My whole thing is, if someone watches any of the stories that are on the page, or any of my stories, or any of anyone else's stories, or any of these podcasts, and feels like, that really helped me, I feel like that I've changed someone's life, and that's the whole purpose of my brand, is to change one person. That's all that matters. No, that's amazing. That's perfect. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to keep building it, trying to keep, helping people, trying to keep giving people a safe space for them to feel like they can come share whatever they want to share without people judging them and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But that's all you had. That's all I had. I appreciate you for hopping on the podcast. I
appreciate you
will
having me.
enjoy coming to your podcast and talking.
Man.
I appreciate that. And
thanks for having me.
we're gonna have to beat you up in pickleball. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
It's
come
gonna,
on,
it's
come
gonna
on.
have
I'm gonna
to
hit you.
happen.
I'm gonna hit you.
But no, I
Come
appreciate you and have a great day.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. No, that was dope. Yeah.